Hi, my name is Rachelle Smith, entrepreneur, professional speaker, and author. Wanted to continue the conversation, which I kicked off a series several weeks ago on the importance of leveraging the power of vulnerability. And in that particular episode, I shared how expressing and sharing my own vulnerabilities and challenges and weaknesses and struggles and adversities and hardships and obstacles has really enabled me to help people in unimagined ways. Because yes, it's wonderful to speak and to write and train and all of that from the position of strength, but it's also equally important to balance that with showing my human side, and folks have really responded well to that. And so I really become a big proponent of leveraging the power of vulnerability and leadership. And so that's why I wanted to continue this conversation and highlight, although it may seem to be counterintuitive, where you say, if I talk about my weaknesses, if I show that I'm human and not perfect, people are going to lose respect for me. What are they going to think? What are they going to say? What are they going to do? And all of that is rooted in a spirit of fear and insecurity. And so I challenge you, when you're confident, when you're secure in who you are, all of those things will literally just have less of an impact on you and what you're doing and who you are striving to be in life, which is truly becoming and being the best person that you can be. Should always be the goal. But leveraging the power of vulnerability and leadership is so important, because you could be a parent. All right, you may be facing financial struggles, and you say, Rachelle, my kids have been nagging me for the last 3 months, and I don't know what to tell them. We haven't been able to go out to eat for the last 3 months, and they've been nagging me, and mom and dad, why can't we go out to eat? All right, you may be facing, and the reason why, you may be facing financial challenges. And so that fear of being vulnerable, even to your own kids, has kept you from being honest and sharing with them to say, you know what, kiddos, love you guys. We're going to go out to eat as soon as we possibly can, but we're facing some financial challenges. You know, money's tight right now, but as soon as this turns around, we're going to be back in business in terms of what we used to do. But in the meantime, we're going to enjoy some wonderful meals at home and have some wonderful family time and moments at home. All right, but don't sit there as a parent and say, well, I can't let my kid know that I'm failing as a parent, or feel like I'm failing as a parent, which you aren't. Or I'm having these financial challenges, which shows that, you know, I'm not perfect and I'm failing I'm failing financially, or things like that. Don't. Again, that's fear, that's insecurity. What are they going to think? Whatever. Okay, don't let that keep you from being honest, from being real. Because whatever the case may be, whatever leadership role you have, vulnerability is so disarming. All right, if you may be a manager or director in corporate America, you may be saying, okay, Rachelle, all right, I've had to take away, my employees couldn't get raises this year, and my team we've had to kill a couple of we've got a couple of our engineering teams, we've had to kill a couple of their projects this year just due to a lack of funding and budgetary constraints. All right, be honest with them. Don't leave them in the dark, having them figuring out, well, why are projects getting killed? And they don't know why. No one's telling them. There's no lie, there's a lack of communication. All right, that breeds distrust, that breeds resentment, that breeds hostility, and that also breeds attrition. And those folks eventually go and find other jobs. When you as a manager or director could have prevented all of that just by being transparent and being vulnerable and explaining some of the challenges that you are facing. All right, so it's so important in any arena of leadership. Vulnerability is so important. Yes, it seems counterintuitive that if I share my weaknesses, they're going to lose respect. No, folks, in most cases, the level of respect and the level of trust and all of that will actually increase, And so I challenge you today. You may be afraid. You may be thinking, I'm so concerned with my reputation. But you got to be honest. You got to be real, particularly when things aren't going well, when there's mistakes, when there's setbacks, when there's adversity, when there's problems, when there's obstacles. All right, think about how those type of issues, by just being honest with the people around you, because the truth of the matter is, people are pretty smart and pretty discerning. They can sense when there are problems, when things aren't going right, when things are changing. It's so important to bring people in and allow them to be part of the dialogue and the discussion and the process. And so that can transform situations, can transform their level of respect for you, their level of trust for you, their commitment and loyalty to the organization or to your business, whatever the case may be. But it's just so important to recognize the power and leverage the power of vulnerability. You all have heard me share this year about my own kind of gym scenario and what I was dealing with. Won't get into all of that again here, but I just want to highlight this as a leadership lesson in terms of vulnerability. When I think about the power of vulnerability and how that could have changed my perception of the whole situation, it just would have been a profound difference in terms of my opinion of the situation. Just imagine, and you've heard me say, John C. Maxwell, everything rises and falls on leadership, and it truly does. Good situations, bad situations, adversity, whatever, everything rises always and falls on leadership. And when I think about that scenario, when I think about imagine if everything rises and falls on leadership. So who's the head person? Are you the general? Are you the boss? Are you the CEO? You're the business owner, okay? But I think about imagine if the owner had reached out to me or pulled me aside when I'm in the gym and said, you know what, Rachelle, I just heard about what you're going through, and listen, hey, we don't have a lot of experience dealing with situations like this, but just wanted to let you know, kind of get your perspective and also kind of let you know what we're thinking, and have more of a collaborative approach where there's open dialogue and communication. And so I imagine if that would have happened, even coming to me from a position of vulnerability would have been very disarming. I would have been like, oh, wow, okay, then hey, I've never dealt with a situation like this before in a gym myself, but I assure you I got some ideas on what we can do to resolve this. That would have been my perspective, but it would have been more collaborative. There could have been open communication. There could have been follow-up communication in terms of what's going on. Is this still an issue for you? What's going on? Can we try this? Can we try that? I mean, there was none of that. And so in this, I won't get into the importance of communication and the importance of trust and all of that in this episode, because those are 2 chapters I highlighted in my book on leadership, and I'll address those in future episodes. But when I think about just how vulnerability would have come, openness and all of that, and collaboration would have changed my opinion of the whole situation. Because think about this from a respect perspective, from a level of respect. I mean, what do you think that had on my level of respect? All right. It came down. Okay. My level of trust came down. And so trust and respect and all of those things, they're easy to build. I mean, they're difficult to build and all of that and earn, but they're incredibly easy to lose. And so I don't want anything like that to happen to you. I want, and again, nothing personal, good people, likable people, but from a vulnerability standpoint, my opinion of them, my opinion of the whole situation, and that's tough because once things like that happen, it's nearly impossible to regain any respect or trust that have been lost in the situation. And so, again, when I think about the Novi Police Department, I think about how it escalated to them. When I think about what I think about now, it's just kind of amusing that the intake officer was looking at my documentation saying, they don't know how to handle this. You had to come here for this. This is easy. All right. And so that's another example of we'll discuss kind of just the implications of something like that and leadership and how you want to make sure any type of leadership challenge or any type of challenges are contained within your business, contained within your company, where people aren't escalating things outside, because that's when things are getting more visible, and that's kind of the negative visibility that you don't want, because other people outside of the situation begin to question your competence and your leadership and things like that. So I want to, when I think about, again, just to continue on really quickly about the Novi Police Department, when I think about their accountability and their commitment to me, their empathy, their leadership, and how they stepped up and was like, Rachelle, anything you need from us, you let us know. I mean, we have wonderful people, and I love my suburb here of Novi, but the police department, and prior to that, I'd had zero interaction with police, none. And so when I think about just how their professionalism, their leadership, their accountability, their commitment, their responsibility, and empathy, and all of that for me in this situation, because they truly wanted me to have a great workout. Can't say that about, my gym leadership, but they certainly cared about my passion for fitness and my commitment to working out. And so, Police Chief David Malloy, have his cell phone number in my phone. Assistant Chief Zenzer, have his number in my phone. Assistant Chief Hart, have his number in my phone. And just the leadership, I mean, their cell phone numbers are all in their emails, signatures, and on their business cards. I mean, they're truly about leadership. They're truly about accountability. Let us know if you ever need anything from us, or there's other situations where you need us to intervene. You don't hesitate to give us a call. And that, folks, is truly, truly leadership. And so what do you think, having had no interaction with police before that, my interactions with that, what do you think the impact on my level of respect was for Novi Police Department and law enforcement in general? Through the roof, high, sky high. And trust, sky high, through the roof. All right. And so recognize things, there's so much in leadership you can't control, but there's so much you can control. And where you may look at a situation, you may fear being vulnerable because what is this person going to think about you? What is this person going to say? I'm going to lose face. I'm going to lose favor with this person. Absolutely. In some cases, will you? Yes. But in most cases, no, you won't. That person's going to actually respect you more. All right. My opinion of the leadership and all of that in my gym or my situation would have been sky high if they had come at me with a position of vulnerability and stayed in contact had more collaborative, more empathetic, concerned approach to the situation, my level of respect and trust would have been sky high. And unfortunately, it's not. And it is what it is. But fortunately, they don't need my trust. They don't need my respect. They need my $29.99 a month fee. But that is just an example for you. And what I want you to not just survive in leadership, I want you to thrive in leadership. I want you to be the best leader that you can be, folks. And that's why I do these episodes, whether it be inspirational insights. I'm going to do some career chats in the futures, these leadership lessons, all right, whatever the case may be, life happiness tips, because my whole life is built around, and I'm truly committed to helping you, empowering you, equipping you, inspiring and challenging you to become and be the best leader and the best person that you can be. But vulnerability is such an important aspect of that. And you may say, well, Rachelle, I don't have a title. I'm not a leader. All right, leadership is not all about titles. Okay, some of the most effective and influential leaders you will ever meet are those with no leadership title. So recognize that you, title or not, regardless of title, you are a leader and you have what it takes to be a leader. And so what I want to do is share some themes, share some topics that will empower you and help you to become a better leader. And I think vulnerability is something, the power of vulnerability is something that isn't talked about a lot, but it is truly something that can help your leadership and your life reach uncharted waters and new levels. And I thank you so much for your time. Make it a wonderful day.